doing some cleaning. I got some family coming over tomorrow, so.
Fun. Where's your family from?
I mean, they're from Indiana.
Oh, okay.
From,
Oh, I knew that.
we grew up in, Pike, or, up just on the border of Pike County, over at the, edge of,
Is that the new Oculus, is that an Oculus Quest 3 or is that an older model?
that is the PSVR2.
Wow, I've never seen it before, so that is really neat.
It looks fancy because I suddenly bought the stand for it. Otherwise, it just like, when you buy it, it's just like, it just kind of sets anywhere, and then like, then you have to plug in the controllers, the USB-C, and it's just like, kudos to whoever made that stand. Like, it makes it look really stylish, because it kind of, because the actual unit doesn't need to be plugged in, it's plugged in through the PS5, so it's always powered, but the controllers are kind of nice because they got these little magnets that you put on the ends of them, then they just like snap into place when you're done.
That's nice.
To charge, but yeah, I've been messing around with it, making myself a little nauseous.
That's awesome.
How long ago did you get it?
I think I ordered it. It was a Black Friday thing, and then I tried Walmart, and I was so mad because and they're like, "Oh, we don't have that anymore. We can't ship to you or whatever."
Really?
Or what? It was coming, and that wasn't coming, and I was like, "All right, give me money back." And luckily, Amazon, and Walmart had it for. I think maybe everywhere had it on sale. I think that was the plan to lower the price on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty,
Are you able to play like The Last of Us and all that on it, or?
In a sense, you could probably play anything on it, but there's the games that are actually made so you can actually look around. I mean, you can put it on, you can actually watch, sit there and watch YouTube or whatever, to a sense, you just got a screen in front of you, but the real money is for the VR games. And so far, I've seen great things with the Resident Evil series.
Oh, man.
Village had a VR mode, and then the remake of 4 has a VR. But it came with Horizon. It came it came bundled with a Horizon game, which I never. I played the first one years ago, but it's it's definitely that game's a lot more active because it's very immersed because I'm sitting there just like it's got me like climbing up ledges this and roads. I was just like, oh, I'm like kind of a workout.
That's cool.
Which is kind of genius. I mean, I think there are exercise programs. I mean, not to say that you should be able to, but I mean, if you're not, if you're, I think that was the big appeal of the Wii. Everybody loved the Wii when it came out, and they're like, this is so great. And plus, it's kind of like you're getting off the couch a little bit. Yeah.
I had the Oculus Quest 2, I want to say, and it was cool because it had the Beat Saber game on it.
Okay.
And then it had Super Hot VR.
Right.
And those two games were so much fun because they're in a sense, they're really physical and they get your heart rate up and going.
Yeah.
And shortly after I got it, there was a guy who made a video on YouTube talking about how he was able to lose 50 pounds playing VR. And I was like, that is interesting. I never would have even thought that it had that application. But,
I think that is.
Yeah, no, it's neat.
But I don't know. I don't know how much time you can commit to. I mean, maybe something like Beat Saber, something that's kind of just in front of you. But when there's a lot that's involved in these Resident Evil games and that other one, even the Horizon game, I was kind of surprised. I think I might be able to change the controls, but you literally have to go like this to kind of step forward. It's I guess it's tracking the controllers, and I was just like, oh, this is overkill. Because with the Resident Evil game, I can move switch, and then you kind of just and some of the other ones you can kind of project where you're going to be, project. So,
that's neat.
But yeah, it's pretty neat. I'm glad I waited. I was gonna, because they had the version 1 for PS4 years ago, but I heard that wasn't as good. And this has got its own like display built in. You know, you're not going off, like, you don't need a separate camera, and the eye tracking and everything's like amazing. I was just like, it's pretty neat.
That's cool. That is super neat. So you have the Resident Evil games and then the Horizon games.
The Horizon games, and I bought some off the store. There was a No Man's Land.
Okay.
Which is like, it's like a space exploration type game. No, is that what it is?
I think that's what it sounds like.
You're kind of like the cover kind of looks like a space.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
No Man's Sky, maybe. I think you're right.
Yeah.
So it has a VR element to it.
Oh.
But it's also, you can play it.
Yeah.
Normally. It was challenging. Even like I was like, I might just switch back to the regular, because it was kind of like, it was incorporated, but it was just like, I'm sitting there like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's a really difficult game.
It's kind of a learning. Yeah.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Even
my friend, when we started playing it, we decided, just jump right in on the hardest mode we could, and man, we died so much.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. But the Village, I bought that like months ago or whatever. One of them. I think 7 had a VR mode, but I think that was for the older, because what sucks is like the older VR, PSVR1 games are not compatible with the VR2, which is to a sense, I guess, because it's like, and you probably wouldn't want it to be. I'm sure it's probably not as, you'd want something that's kind of made for that, you know. But even like I was just like getting my bearings, and then like the beginning of a Village, you're kind of like, you're getting your bearings and everything, and like then you're testing out your guns, and it was just like literally like you have to go and like get your shotgun out, or you go, you reach over here, get your holster, literally like put the magazine, and then like, you can simplify that, but I like the full on, like,
it feels super realistic.
Yeah, and that was just the training. And I played like 10 minutes of the game, and already I was just like, the opening of the game, you're kind of like, you're there with I don't know if you're familiar with like the 7 or Village or any of that.
Okay.
Ethan, there's character in Resident Evil 7. It was kind of a rebranding of sorts. So it was the first Resident Evil that was kind of first person, and it was like, it was really horror-ish, and then not so much zombie. I mean, there were zombie elements, like they're infected, but this is like, it's like their story. So like the first half of the game, kind of like, you just kind of like, she gave you the baby, and you're like getting the baby, and you're going around the rooms, or like you can literally like look at photo albums and stuff like that. I made like a full YouTube video because I was just like having a really fun with it.
That is super neat.
It was really immersive.
That's cool. That's great. Well, we're glad to hear you're doing well, and that honestly sounds really freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I wish we could totally play video games on the mission, but oh well. So we just kind of want to do a check-in real quick and just kind of see, like, what's your progress this week?
It's been quite a challenging week, and I'd have to admit that I'm not. I think one morning, one evening, I remember kind of turning. I might have said that last time too. That's kind of losing my sense of time, but
no, you're good.
I think I did try to just kind of play that. I was trying to play it in the background, but I think I said that last time. Just kind of like naturally absorb the words and stuff like that. But I don't know. This Christmas thing just kind of hit me hard.
Yeah.
And I typically don't fall into that like generic, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, we celebrated Christmas when she was alive, but like it's never like oh, it's gonna be really hard because like she loves it or something. It was just the loneliness that kind of kicked in because nobody was doing anything like family wise. They're all doing their own thing, so the extra day off was just kind of like really off putting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've always kind of been doing like I still my mind into social media in a sense, into my heart and a lot. So like I've been getting a lot more creative. I've been like editing like old Facebook lives, like going back to my journey. And so I like these little the people are obsessed, and I get it. Like the TikToks or the shorts, you just want something that's just like you just like you don't want the like 2 minutes. Like I can't be here that long. Like, so like I just trim these things ever so. And like the response it gets from like if you put the right hashtag and it gets your core audience. Like that's some kind of YouTube or something like that. But for what I was trying to say, it's reaching these people, and then like the social aspect of it, like just like being really supportive, and I don't know,
absolutely, it gives you a network, like a network of people that.
Yeah, the fact that the government wants to ban TikTok, like they can all agree on banning one single app, but they can't agree on something else. But they're like, definitely we don't want like it makes absolutely no sense. Like whatever, if they're spying, whatever, like that's on us. Like if we're using it, whatever. But like I think TikTok has like
a lot of benefits,
a lot of good. There's probably a lot of not so good stuff. I mean, with every piece of social media, there's the bad elements, but I don't know if they're going to do it yet.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we honestly, it's okay. We didn't want to give too many challenges to people this week just because it was Christmas and stuff. We totally understand. And with Christmas, I mean, there are a lot of emotions,
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it can be a really happy time of year, but for a lot of people, it can also be a really tough time of year. Whether that's because of family conflict, loss of a loved one, whatever it may be. I mean, holidays are always a tough time. So as missionaries, we try our best to not put pressure on people at that time and say like, hey, we want you to do all these things. Because we get that there's a lot that comes with it. But one thing that I've noticed is, how should I say this? One thing I've noticed is, as you talk to us about social media and going back to kind of your journey with it and all that, it seems like you've kind of done it because of the network of people and the support and the love and the being noticed, right? And kind of feeling like you're,
in a sense, yeah. Like I hearken a lot of it back to like my 3.5 months at residential, where it was just, granted it was a secured environment and everything, but it was so supportive. And I just can't put that together. I mean, people say, people, you should get out and you should do that and be more social. And,
it's tough.
Yeah.
It is. Trust us. I mean, our whole 2 years from 2024 to 2026 is inviting people to certain things and trying to figure out, what hurdles we need to help them overcome. And we see a lot of that, and it's reoccurring. It is tough to put yourself out of that kind of comfort zone and, like, be more social like people want us to be, because it is hard. It's really daunting in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I think my main hurdle is I can't get over I got this poor self-image. So, like, I could definitely, like, I could be social. I mean, I'm made to go to, not made to go to work, but you have to go to work. And I can put on this, like, like I could be, I feel like I'm pretty, like, like I could be chippy and happy with, people. I mean, I know how to be social, but, if it comes down to it, like, you don't have to do this. I mean, your mind just like, so, I mean, I don't know. With your church in particular, what still kind of holds me up a little bit. I mean, I know we've probably discussed it before, but the dress code still gives me a little hang up.
Oh.
Like,
so we actually don't really have a dress code.
Okay.
A lot of people assume that since the missionaries walk around in, shirts and ties and shined shoes, that there's a dress code, right?
Right.
And that's actually not the case. In fact, while, a lot of people do enjoy to dress up and go to church,
Yeah, I mean, you should look nice. But
it
seemed, I think I read something, and it's not maybe, it's kind of like a overall, like, I feel like maybe, especially like the older generation too, like,
yes,
like the men should be in socks and whatever, and the women should be wearing dresses, and I kind of think,
you would laugh how many people come to church on Sundays in sweatshirts, sweatpants, and torn up sneakers. We have guys who come in from construction sites wearing neon orange vests and hard hats with concrete dusted gloves and pants. My dad always says, if the church parking lot smells like cigarette smoke, you're doing something right, because it means you're accepting anyone.
Right.
Our church, heck, we have a carved stone on it that says, all are welcome. And if you showed up in a Voltron t-shirt and a pair of Nyan Cat sweatpants, we'd love it, and it would be great for conversation, and you would have so many people go, wow, that's actually really cool.
I used to get, like, I got a bunch of, really creative shirts that I bought, and I'd always get anytime residential and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This one, I think this one came in like a week years ago.
I was going to say, that's really cool.
It's actually a Power Rangers, like a blueprint, like, but I mean, I have my nice outfits too, like, and I like to have like typically I'll rock like a nice top, and then either like a blue jeans or a nice pair of leggings, and then like a cardigan. And that the cardigan is what sews it together. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's like people having like their magic or their security blankets, but it's kind of like my
they're like, comfy.
Like it's tied together. It makes me. It gives me that little more confidence.
Yeah.
I feel like people look good. I look in the mirror and I'm like, this really ties it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's perfectly fine to wear to church. Like, I've seen some people wear very similar outfits like that to church.
Yeah.
We don't want to invite you to church just because, we're missionaries, right? We don't gain really anything at all from inviting you to church. There's no point system, there's no statistics or anything that say, like, well, we've invited more people to church than that set of missionaries, right?
Right.
We invite you to church because we've seen how it's improved our lives. I mean, me personally, I've struggled with depression a lot in my life. And it got to the point where my parents were almost like, hey, we might have to put you in a residuation for a bit because, we don't want you to do something that you would regret.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily know what you've gone through, but I can see a similar perspective of where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And at that time, I wasn't going to church either, And I also struggled with my self-image, I mean, when you struggle with those kind of perspectives of yourself and all that, you don't view yourself in a very high light, and you're worried about how you perceive yourself and how others perceive you, and you have so many things going on in your head that you're just like, I don't know if I can do this. But I remember the first Sunday I went to church, I literally showed up wearing a torn up black Nike hoodie that stank like smoke, because at the time I was smoking weed, and I was wearing those red and black kind of lumberjack-looking PJ pants that you always see people wearing. And I wore those along with a pair of Adidas slides. Okay. So I literally looked like I had just gotten done at a gym or something like that. And I was so worried about it. I was like, dude, everyone here is showing up in suits and dresses and polished shoes and belts and everything. And I didn't see anyone else who was wearing what I was wearing. I was so nervous about it. But I remember I walked in and I was just like, okay, I just need to go into the main room where everyone is and sit down. And if I can do that, I'll be okay mentally, and I'll say that I made the effort and I at least tried, right? And if they criticize me, then I can leave and never have to worry about it again. But if it goes well, I'll see where it takes me. So I went in, and I sat down, and immediately I had strangers that I had never even met. I had maybe heard their names from my parents, but I didn't even know them, coming up to me, saying hi to me, introducing me by name, and giving me hugs and everything. Total strangers. And I think that it was one of the most amazing things I'd ever witnessed. So, God doesn't have a dress code. There's no standards that you necessarily have to uphold to be welcome to church. You show up how you are, and everyone's going to love you for it, and you feel noticed, you feel loved, you feel involved, and you truly just walk out of there feeling like $1 million. So, that's my 2 cents from it, but we would love to have you at church on Sunday, if you're comfortable with it, just because, it can do wonders for you.
Yeah, definitely. Like, keep this momentum going.
Yeah.
And that's kind of downside too, because it's too much time. That's all. Kind of take yourself out of anything.
Yeah.
Or you fall out of routine. That's having a job or any kind of thing social is that's wonders for the mental health, such as routine and stuff like that. So.
And if it helps, we've said that our services are 2 hours, but most of the time, a lot of people just stay for the first hour. And that's totally okay, because the first hour is just sitting and listening to the speakers. And then at the end, a lot of people kind of just chat for a bit, say hi to their friends and all that, talk, kind of just socialize for a bit. And, it can be a great way to kind of just, we normally sit in the back, so we're out of sight from most people. But you could sit with us and listen to the speakers, and then if you wanted to, you could stay after. We could introduce you to some of our friends, and you could chat with them. Or if you're like, okay, this is a little too much, then you can, But, whatever your pace is, we're totally willing to go with that.
I'm game. I'm not trying to avoid it.
Oh, no, you're good. Hey, no, you're good. You're good.
Would it help if we went and did like a tour of just the church without not on a Sunday,
like no one there or anything like that, and you could just kind of see the building, get an idea of it?
Possibly. I know it's definitely not as overwhelming when I went to my friend's church a month ago, about redemption. And I was like,
whoa.
I was like, you need to come out and meet me, because I have no clue where I'm going. I feel like I've got a sense of the building from driving by, and like, there's not a whole lot of mystery there. It seems like you probably walk in. And,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you've seen the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You walk in, and normally we're standing at the front doors, so we greet everyone, chat with them for a minute, and help them in if they need help, or just kind of direct them as needed. But
are there, I don't think of the rest of it, are there in the area? Okay.
Yeah, so we don't technically have other elders in our area, but we
Right.
do have hermanas.
Okay.
They're the Spanish-speaking sisters.
Okay.
And yeah, they come to church every Sunday with us, and they're really neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they just do what we do, but specialize with the Spanish-speaking group.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, does make a lot of sense.
Yep, and each like building, each church building of ours, around the U.S. is going to have different sets of missionaries depending on what's around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think to bring it back to like culture, pulp culture, whatever. But like, there's recently this movie, and I haven't watched it yet. But my boss, Heretic.
Yep.
He loves horror movies, and he's like telling me, he's like, oh, they're Latter-day Saints, and I was like, the two women. And I was like, oh, interesting. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. No, we.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, no.
I want to watch it. I mean, it might be. It didn't seem like it was too like horror-ish. Like, kind of more maybe thought-provoking or whatever.
Yeah, we've heard a little bit about it. It's not necessarily like directly anti-Mormon. Right. They just use them as kind of an example. Yeah. And I've heard that as a horror movie, it was all right. It wasn't like top tier horror movie, but I've heard it was fun.
Yeah, I was always a Hugh Grant fan.
Yeah, I love Hugh Grant. Oh yeah.
Everything he's done, and now he's just kind of like he's fully embraced in his later years. He's like, yeah, I'm not really that moppy, good-looking guy anymore. I can just play whatever.
I thought he's aged pretty darn.
He's aged gracefully, but like there for a while, he was always like that top with like he always had the mop top and. So he's kind of stumbling over himself, and he's like, oh, he's so charming.
Yeah. My mom loves Notting Hill, and first time I watched it, I was like, this is a good movie. I like it. Yeah. That's where I first saw Hugh Grant.
I think it was 9 months when I first saw him.
Okay, yeah.
That was like an earlier one. And that and Bridget Jones, I really thought it was some, like about dynamic between him and what's his name? He's a good actor. Great amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One comes acting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything we can do for you, whether it's service-wise, spiritually, like anything?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I mean, it's not the best, but I'm somewhat. I mean, I'm obviously, I'm like I'm kind of grounded. Like, I was kind of like losing a little bit of touch, but I think I think tomorrow is going to be good with family. So I think
that'll be good.
Maybe if I could start the day off right, and maybe get up to the church in the morning and then in the afternoon with family.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. You're actually going to be playing a piano piece during the first hour, so that should be pretty fun to watch. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I do like it too. Piano, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a good idea to kick the day off on the right foot.
Yeah.
And if that means going to church, then we would be ecstatic.
That is a good point, like I was kind of like, there's so many different, I know you got the Catholics, you got like the Oregon or whatever, like, and then like Redemption's got like this whole like, they could have like a whole band, they come out, and I was like, it's all like members of the church. But is it just kind of more like, I think Methodist, we had like a stationary piano. We might have had a somewhat like an electric organ too, if I remember right. But I feel like every church has some kind of a piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. So this church building has like one of those, kind of keyboard things. So
Right.
you need piano, organ, whatever.
Oh, kind of.
You
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Other buildings,
yeah.
they usually they'll have a piano.
Yeah.
And then an electric organ system, so it's not like a keyboard, so it actually
Right.
has the
Right.
organ. It's not air powered.
I was going to say, back home in Missouri, our church has a nice stationary piano, and then it's got an actual pipe organ.
Oh yeah,
the pipe organ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice, but yeah.
Yeah. So with technology now, like people like you're saying, like it's just as good. Like you can mimic the sound, and like you said, you have it on.
Oh yeah.
Have it on demand, and you get really good. I don't know how thick the beat's gonna be there.
Yeah, usually our church is kind of just, it's a little bit of a slower pace.
Right.
I wouldn't say we're
as
cool rock and roll as Redemption is in that aspect, but it's nice because it's very calm.
Yeah, no, it sounds.
Yeah, very just kind of like zen, help you kind of ground yourself if you need and get to that calm headspace after a very kind of chaotic week.
I remember we were checking out. I mean, this was some years ago, and we went back to checking out. We were gonna start doing Holy Family, and that was kind of like Holy Family was kind of like the more progressive. Like, I mean, maybe they're still considered are, but like the more progressive, especially compared to St. Joe's. It was like it's a kind of open area, and like they had like a guy with a guitar, and like it was kind of interesting. But I like something just kind of soothing. I'm not. I've yet to be moved. There was a guy at the Redemption just kind of they're up there jamming out, and he was just like moving through, and I was like, oh man, I wish I could feel like that. I don't know what's going through you, but good on you.
Very different feeling at our church. It's a lot of just like peace and like kind of like that warm feeling. It's like putting on that cardigan,
Right.
It's like having a blanket wrapped around you. Just peace and comfort, God letting you know, like, hey, I'm here for you.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long time coming, and I do want to check it out. So if everything goes well into the evening or get it the night, sometimes my weekends I get so much stuff, and I'll end up being like up to like 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm just like, oh man, if I even try to go, I'm just gonna be like a zombie, like, and I kind of wanna. So I think today, I kind of cleaned up and wore myself out, but exerted some energy, and I think I'll be able to sleep right, and wake up in the morning, and get church is at 10, is that right?
Would it help if we like called you beforehand, like a couple hours, just to remind you or see how you?
Before the service. I mean,
if not, it's okay.
You say a couple hours, I'm just like, I'm thinking this.
That would be a little early.
When do you usually get up?
we can shoot you a text or something.
Yeah.
We're up every morning around 6:30.
I'm pretty much like that too. Well, I mean, with the job and everything, I'm typically an early riser. So, but on the weekends, I kind of
sleep in a little.
I let my alarm slide till 9, but I never go till 9. But that's just in case if I do have like a bad night, I'm like, it's still up until I'll do some 9.
Done for the next day.
I don't want to sleep in the whole day, but typically, yeah. But you could shoot a confirmation text or whatever. I'll tell you something about going on or whatever,
Hey, sounds good. And like we said, I mean, if it ends up being a rough night's sleep or something like that, we totally understand. I will say, I once had a friend say, if you fall asleep in church, it's blessed to rest. And I was like, okay. But,
many people, I remember growing up, must have been really blessed.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
You always got that one guy who's in the back, like, head leaning back, just,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's probably the guys that are crowd too.
Yep.
Older crowd,
Older
children, dads, everyone.
Anywhere you can get some kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I have a habit. I mean, you'd have to have really comfortable chairs. I mean,
Yeah.
it must, like, that would probably put me off. Like, if you're sitting in a somewhat, like, I don't know what the situation you got at the church, like it's pews.
Yeah.
Or,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Just padded pews.
Yeah, padded pews or whatever. So, like, it'd have to be like something like even sitting here, like I can sometimes stand, like, you can see TV.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I get so tired.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then that's posture wise too. It's like you got over comfortable chairs, you're gonna, like you're standing upright.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like a good environment. To
Yeah.
keep your attention. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if there's anything we can help you with from say till tomorrow or throughout next week, let us know. I mean, we're not just here for spiritual lessons and all that. We're also here to do any form of service.
Right.
I mean, we're going to go clean out horse stalls later today. So, yeah, you got anything that you ever need help with, you let us know.
He's got horses.
We have a friend at church who, they got 2 horses. The wife loves riding, but she somewhat recently got Lyme's disease.
Okay.
And the horses have been kind of stalled up for a bit, so she called us and was like, hey, I haven't cleaned them in a while. Could you come do the muck work? And we were like, yep, sure, we'll do it. So, yeah, we're going to drive out about 15 minutes and go scoop poop for an hour or 2.
Yeah. That got me thinking, because we just had our we just had our hospital Christmas party or whatever.
Okay.
So the hospital owns, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. Like, if you're going, it's that bypass, like where Redemption would be on. So you can turn off. There's this giant, like, they used to have horses here, but I think the lady, the gentleman died, and then the lady is like, she didn't want to pay the taxes on it, so she just donated it to the hospital. I just like this kind of sitting in the corner and just really kind of like, I mean, like, they had a horse about it. The hospital just used it for storage, but they got it's like a nice, like, area for, like, they do Christmas parties or stuff like that. But I was just thinking that, I can't remember. It's off about, like, I think it's like that, kind of like in part of Hummingbird Road and into the back of Hummingbird. But that's how familiar I speak of, like, because I'm so familiar. The county as a whole, just like from so many years of driving.
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier today. He's like, by the time I transfer to my next location, I want to be able to know Jasper off the back of my hand.
Yeah.
I have most of it pretty memorized, but
there's a lot of stuff that I'm not, like, I'm still kind of like, being out of the rent to own game. You would always kind of know in the new apartments and stuff like that, and I've never got to experience, like, I see them sometimes on the hill, but all that 30th Street where the old park was, they got like old apartment buildings up there.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Definitely no.
Yeah.
Alright, well.
Yeah.
Let's see what we have for today. We'll end with a little prayer. I'll go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we are so grateful that we had this opportunity to meet with Kimber and to discuss church and to discuss our love for us. And we ask you that will help us to be able to have a great rest of our day. And we ask special blessing that Kimber will be able to get the sleep that she needs tonight. And she'll be able to get up in the morning and feel ready to come to church. And we ask you that will help us to all just continue to feel thy love. And we pray these things in the name of our Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Well, we'll get out of your hair for the day. Let you get back to prepping for family. But
pretty much done. Chill out for the rest of the day.
yeah, okay.
Some VR.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. A little bootleg. I bought these things off the Walmart site.
Oh, okay.
And they're total bootlegs. They're really good bootlegs. Like they're Chinese. Like I don't know if they like scanned the original NECA. But you even have the box. But there's something off about them. And I complained to Walmart. I was like, these are bootlegs, and they're like,
you're like, there's no way this can be real.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, well, no worries. Like you're a Walmart Plus member. Like we'll just refund you the money. You can dispose of it. I'm like.
Yeah, good.
I was like, but they're not that bad. I was like,
yeah, you got money back.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's awesome. Now you're like, well,
the NECA figures, man. I didn't jump in right away when they were releasing them. So. And now you try to buy them on eBay.
Expensive.
Yeah, people are like wanting like hundreds of dollars on it.
Oh my goodness.
I don't care. It's like a knockoff. I just want it to kind of look neat.
Yeah.
I buy all my stuff on the cheap. You know, it might not make sense sometimes, but.
It's quite a collection.
It's kind of a curation of sorts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I just saw this. This is awesome. My dad had this exact same collection of cases for the Lord of the Rings when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, the original special like in the DVD.
Ah, that is so neat.
Yeah.
That just brought back several core memories.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff, and then I got like the re-release, like the Blu-rays and stuff, like when they were releasing the stuff the first time, like all the DVD stuff, like
a
lot of times they don't even put the special features back on the newer stuff. So I'm like, it was good to have like some of the older stuff.
Like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Boy, Gravity. That one's good.
Man.
My friend told me to watch that by myself, and I was like on edge the whole time. It's such a good film.
Yeah, and these are like my newest editions. These are the steelbook.
Oh yeah.
I like the split cover on it. That's like this is like that.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
But I really loved the first one, and I actually liked the sequel. Like a lot of people, I don't know.
I thought it was good.
Same way with this, it's like a legacy thing. It's like the first one came out in '88, and now like we're in 2024, and you're releasing the sequel. But it's a good. It was a good story. Like it was able to kind of like gel right. It wasn't a cash grab. It was like. Well, of course it wasn't a cash grab because it was like 88 to 2024. It was like, let's finally cash in. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, we'll head on out. But
it
was good seeing you. Good getting to chat with you. And there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right. See ya.